Okay, so maybe we can do a quick recap of what happened last week. Okay, so 3 very important things happened last week. Number 1. Okay, just a minute.
Very soft.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, good. Okay, so number 1 is the Formula 1. Okay, next we have the launch of iPhone 15. Last but not least is Hillock Green. So the thing is that in Singapore, right, F1 is actually bringing a lot of attention to the Singapore scene. Okay, and the other thing will be the launch of iPhone 15. So until now, it's actually a very long moment that we have the USB-C in iPhone 15. So this is also catching a lot of attention. So the last one will be the most important, which is Hillock Green. This is why you guys are here in the first place. Okay, so without further ado, let me just introduce you more about Hillock Green. First of all, the timeline. Today is already the 19th of September. Okay, so the preview for Hillock Green is on the 21st October. We have plus minus about 4 weeks plus before the project preview. If you ask me personally, I think this is actually a very good timing. This is a perfect duration where you can actually focus your firepower into the marketing. So for just this 4 weeks plus, you can just focus everything into Hillock Green itself. 2 weeks after will be 4th November, which is the actual launch, or some of you might have known it. This is called the booking date. So maybe you can come to close 1 or 2 units, then you can easily enjoy the rest of the year-end holiday with your family members. Okay, so let me just run through with you quickly on the project details itself. First of all, this project size is roughly 474 units. It's sitting on a land size of 144,000 square feet. It's a 99 years leasehold. Okay, plot ratio is 3.0. Location is in District 26. The developers is actually a consortium of 3 developers. Number 1, Forsea, Soilbuild, and UE. Okay, the architect is DP Architects. Bedroom range, we have all the way from 1 bedroom to 4 bedroom units. Okay, the address definitely will be in Lentor Central area. The nearest MRT is Lentor MRT. Okay, now the developer's profile. First of all, Forsea. Forsea is actually a subsidiary of China Communication Construction Company. Okay, it is. Sorry. Volume too low. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me closer? Is it better now? Is the sound better? Maybe can someone give a feedback? Is the sound better now? Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Maybe I should closer to the mic. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So let's come back to the developer. I'll start again. Forsea. Okay. Forsea is actually a subsidiary under China Communication Construction Company Limited. They are also the winning company who actually got the award to build the mass transit rail all the way from JB to Woodland. Okay. Yep. Next, we have the United Engineers. United Engineers is also a subsidiary under the company called Yenlot. UE is one of the most well-recognized developers in Singapore as well. They have a numerous project in Singapore. Last but not least, okay, we have Soilbuild. With over 47 years of experience, Soilbuild definitely is no stranger when it comes to real estate properties developers as well. Okay, just let me run through quickly on the developer showcase. Okay, for UE, most of you might have known, okay, they are one of the very unique project, Dairy Farm, which is already fully sold. Next, we have the Manhattan Essential Sky, Coven Melody as well. So these are the few projects under developers belt. Next, we have Soilbuild. Okay, under Soilbuild, we have One Tree Hill, Lonnie Park, Mayor Suites, and not forgetting recently just fully sold Verticals in District 12 as well. Okay, for the project location, okay, it is actually situated just in the middle of Lentor Modern and Lentor Hill Residences. As you can see clearly from this picture, this is the project location. The style is where the show flat location is. It is actually located along the Hillock Drive Road. Okay. Next, let me just share with you a little bit on the potential view. Okay, so this is the layout, the entire site layout of Hillock Green. Okay, as you can see that we are almost facing directly into Hillock Park itself. I have a drone footage, I have a drone picture here. From this picture, you can clearly understand that most of the units will be facing the park itself. So you have a very good luxury of the park view. Okay. Now this is another shot. This is taken from a different angle. Now you're looking at the project itself towards the park area. Okay. I will just run through some of the units breakdown as we have right now. Okay, so this is the unit breakdown as confirmed by the developer. As of now, okay, as you can see from this chart, the developers is actually going quite heavy on the 2-bedroom and the 3-bedroom units. The two-bedroom units altogether consist about 41%, nearly 41% of the entire development, and the three-bedroom close to 37%. Okay, with this, right, our one-bedroom, you only have about, the one-bedroom, you only have about 22 units, which most probably will be sold out if the developer price it correctly. The size of the two-bedroom ranges from 624 all the way up to 958 square feet. Plus, if you want a really big two-bedroom plus study unit, right? 958. Some of you might say that this size is actually very close to even a three-bedroom unit. Next, we have the three-bedroom. The standard unit starts from 904 all the way to 1,141. I would think this is pretty a decent size in modern condominium context. Okay, so for those that have deeper pockets, you may want to take a look at the four-bedroom and even the four-bedroom premium, which goes all the way to 1,572. I would think that these are really very big units. The 1572 units are bigger than the dual key units that we have in the facilities itself as well. Okay. So that was just a quick presentation of Hillock Green. Okay, today actually I'm speaking to two groups of people. One group is that they have done Hillock projects before. The other group have not done project before. So for those who have done Hillock projects before, I will urge you to sign up for Hillock Green Residences. This is because that you guys already there. You guys already know, you already learn, you already know what to sell, how to sell this location. So don't waste the effort that you have already put in. Come join us, join the Hillock Green team. Then for the next group that you have not done projects before in Lentor area, you guys should you should join. Where else in Singapore can you find 11 plots of land for you to sell? There's really a long runway for you to make your opportunity here. The opportunity here definitely is very huge. More importantly, the leadership team have planned a series of top-notch training and activities. We even have special cash incentive prizes when you take part into our activities. Okay, so with that, I've almost come to the end of my presentation. But however, I want to end off with a note. Okay, very long time ago, about 16 years ago, Apple came up with its first iPhone. When Apple launches its first iPhone, it was actually dominated by Nokia and Samsung. Do you still guys remember the time? However, Apple still chose to launch its iPhone in a strongly dominated by other iPhone makers. Hillock Green Residences is almost the same. We are going into a almost, you can say that Guaco Land Hong Leong is strongly dominating the entire market. But why developers still choose to bid this land, still choose to go forward with this launch? Developers will definitely have a niche in this project. Okay, so with that said, Hillock Green may even be the Apple in Lentor transformation. I hope you can end your year well with a loud bang, even louder than the F1. So yeah, I hope everything is good for you. Why not I pass my time over to David?
Hello guys, I'm David. I'm one of the division directors heading the campaign for Hillock Green. Okay, today I'm going to brief to you all the unique selling points of Hillock Green and also as a unique selling points of being an agent for the campaign. Okay, connectivity. First of the things that usually as an agent we tell our clients would be how connected, where's the location, where's the geographical location of the project. First, we look at the traveling time from MRT station. As we know, Hillock Green sits directly opposite Lentor Modern, which is also probably a 1 minute's walk away from the station entrance. Now over here, TE5. Okay, so 2 stops away, we have our Bright Hill Station. 4 stops away, Caldecott Station, which is 11 minutes away. So the interesting thing that we have is that to travel to Orchard Road is 20 minutes. Okay, not too shabby, right? And if you are traveling to Marina Bay, it's 28 minutes. So for OCR to current CCR locations, we are only distance away of 20 minutes. And furthermore, you add another 1 minute, which is your traveling time to the condominium. It is still within all the travel distance of 30 minutes. Okay, another thing of concern that we have is a lot of our condominium owners actually would have a family car, sometimes even two. Okay, North-South corridor, which is slated to be completed in year 2027. Okay, will bring you to the nearest expressway within 2 minutes. Okay, currently what we do have is the Central Expressway CTE, which is 5 minutes away, and Seletar Expressway, which is 7 minutes. I didn't put in our slides. If let's say we were to travel to Lornie Highway, it's about 10 minutes away. Lornie Highway has been recently remodeled, so we have more lanes and definitely faster travel time. That's about 10 minutes. Okay. One of the things that we notice about current market buyers is dominated by home buyers. So education will be something that families will be looking at. If not, they'll be looking at for their future potential buyers. So what are the primary schools in the location? We do have within 1 kilometer, Anderson Primary School. CHIJ St. Nicholas is within the 2 kilometer radius, 1 to 2 kilometer radius. Mayflower Primary School and Ang Mo Kio Primary School also falls within the 1 to 2 kilometers radius. Okay, so there's a bevy of schools in the vicinity. So we have 4 already within the 2 kilometer radius. And for example, Nanyang Polytechnic is also within probably 5 minutes drive away. So this location-wise, education will not be a serious objection that you'll be handling as an agent. And the next point that we talk about will be amenities. It's shopping and food. Okay, so in my previous projects, when the first time when we did Lentor Modern, and then after subsequently Lentor Hills, some people would tell me, hey, where's this Lentor location? Why is it nearby? So after studying and then after going through all the trainings, I believe some of you all have been in the core team for the previous 2 projects also. Okay, so these are a few that are named out, which is all within 2 to 3 kilometer radius. Lentor Modern, which is across the road, 100 meters away. Okay, then the block 628 market that is, falls in the Ang Mo Kio Planning District. It's 800 meters away. I put this in is because this is one of the nearest market that you can walk to or food center that you can walk to. The second one that is within walking distance, albeit slightly further, would be Mayflower Market, 1.2 kilometers. And the shopping hub, besides Lentor Modern in future, owners can drive to Ang Mo Kio Hub, which is 2 kilometers away. Thomson Plaza is down a straight road, which is 3.3 kilometers away. Or they can take another one-stop station to Thomson. One of the things I noticed about previous buyers of Lentor Hill or even Lentor Modern is that a lot of the buyers appreciate nature. They like greenery. They are probably country club members or they play golf. And they will appreciate that the location itself, right, has a lot of parks, nature parks next to it. Okay, our Hillock Park, which we have just seen the aerial photography, is a walking distance, 100 meters away. Thomson Nature Park is within 1 kilometer away. Ang Mo Kio Town Garden West, 1.2 kilometers. Lower Peirce Reservoir Park, 1.7 kilometers. And one of the more famous ones would be Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park at 1.9 kilometers. These are only 5 of the, I can name up to about 10 within driving distance of 5 minutes. But I chose to put in these 5 because these are probably something that you can walk to or you can cycle to. Okay, there's a park connector all the way from McRitchie Reservoir. There's a one connected road all the way to our Hillock. Okay, first mover advantage. Okay, as we have known from the plot itself, this is my 3rd plot out of 11. Okay, after this, Hillock Green, subsequently there's going to be Lentoria. And then Lentor Central, there's going to be another plot coming up probably next year, but we do not have the name of it. But this is a sequence of 11 plots in total. So it will be phased gradually over the next few years. The government has a grand plan of making this into a private enclave, which is just next bounding Ang Mo Kio Planning District. Okay, so if let's say you're an agent, okay, you look at this, oh, I have 11 plots. Oh, what to do? So many units. Is it oversaturated? One of the things as an agent, you are not afraid But as a buyer, it's a different story. You have to time your purchases. But as an agent, don't you have this objection sometimes that, I haven't hit my MOP yet from your buyer? I haven't hit my MOP, or my funds are not ready, or I'm in the scouting stage. So as an agent, it's very easy for you to bring them down to the next plot or next campaign, and there's less objections even. So as an agent, I would beseech you to spend some marketing dollars for this project, so that you can eventually have a long runway, as what Eugene has also mentioned, for the next few years. Okay, I'm going to pass over to Jacob, who's going to cover the third part of the objection handling and the features of the Lentor.
Hello, everyone. Okay, yeah. So, I'm Jacob. I'm also one of the project DDs for Lentor. This project at Lentor, which is our Hillock Green. Some of you may be familiar with me if you all have actually been selling the first ever Lentor project, which is actually at Lentor Modern. I was the project IC there as well. So we have a very, very, I guess, a very, very vibrant, very fun team here at Hillock Green, because we are all going to come into, I guess, helping you to sell Hillock Green a bit better. Some of you may not know who are the DDs and ICs yet. We'll actually be sending out the artwork very soon, right? We have a very diverse group of DDs and ICs, and everybody have very strong strengths in many different areas, right? So there's a lot of questions, right? A lot of things that you guys may want to know, that you guys may want to ask, that we don't have the answer to yet. Okay, we don't have the answer to that yet because the developer hasn't actually sent that to us. So what we're doing for you today, apart from sharing with you some of the introductory stuff, we also want to share with you a deeper understanding of Lentor. Okay, I've heard from my own agents as well as our teammates here at ERA that some of our agents feel that Lentor is too saturated. They feel that Lentor is a bit fatigued already, right? You find tired, it's very tiring to sell Lentor. 又是多一个 plot 怎么卖, right? So how to sell another plot in Lentor? But there's a lot of things that I think we as a leadership team has come up with to give you more insights on how to better sell, better convert your clients, and to deal with demographics as well as oversaturation in the Lentor area. So if let's say now you guys are sitting down somewhere, I want you guys to really start taking notes on this, because the next 20, 30 over slides, there's going to be a lot of detail that helps you to really, really secure your buyers here at Hillock Green. So without further ado, let me just run through the 6 things that we're going to run through today. Okay, you just take a look at my screen. Okay, what you guys already see there is going to be what stock and recent news, right? Harmonization. A lot of agents who are new or let's say hasn't exactly been into the project scene yet, doing a lot of resale, you all might not know what harmonization is. Later, I'll briefly touch and go on it so that you have a better understanding on why, if you don't buy a project that is prior to this harmonization regulation, you might actually lose out a bit more. That's what we feel, right? So you should buy a project that hasn't been affected by harmonization. So later we'll touch and go on what that means. Why buying now into Lentor is a good time? That has actually very close links with harmonization. Okay, I'll share with you the demographics. So yeah, when Lentor Modern first launched, we don't know who are the buyers. We don't know what kind of people will buy Lentor area, correct? But now we have the demographics. So I want to help you, our ERA agents, to go and attack this demographic, attack this district, find more buyers that are from this area, because they have proven themselves to want to buy Lentor. All right. And after all, we're also going to talk about objection handling. Number one question I've been getting almost every day with the leadership team is going to be, hey, Lentor a bit oversaturated. How do I sell Lentor? Right. So we're going to run through a very, very interesting case study. I think nobody in ERA done before. Hillock Green DDIC team, we do for you. Okay. So future development and infrastructure we'll also share likely later. So come. Now move on. New and remaining stock. All right. Let's take a look at this screen now. Give me a second. Let me take a look at this screen. Okay, so you take a look at this screen. We got central, south, we got west, we got east, we got north, and you realize that this screenshot that I put there for you is basically the amount of projects that's going to be launching in the next year, to maybe end of 2024. Okay, so these projects, right, they are going to be launched. You notice how much undersupply we have in the north side. Okay. We don't have a lot of projects launching the north side, and Hillock Green is one of them that is going to launch by mid of next month, right, 21st of October. So this is the best time, you can tell people, hey, you want to buy in north, right? We don't have a lot of supply. How about you start attacking now? Okay, so this is undersupply, take note of that. There's a good flow to how we're going to pitch this. All right. Generally speaking, I think some news we all need to take note. Private property prices, the PPI has still been increasing. Okay, of course, we don't have the kind of drastic increase that we had during the COVID period, but we still see slow increment. This is a very, very strong insight that our market is not crashing. Okay, your buyers always tell you, oh, why wait for market to crash? We know the government's goal is to create sustainable growth, right? So we start to see, after all the implementation, the government's sustainable growth is coming. So if it's coming, you have to tell your buyers, hey, now you must buy and hold. Okay, that means you must buy the right property. You must buy the property that gives you a lot of value with what you're paying for. Right. So David and Eugene explained, the kind of prices they are putting out there just now is going to be very attractive at the Hillock Green. Okay. So, okay, recent news, right? Champions Way, okay, for those who are unfamiliar, right? Champions Way is actually located in Woodlands, right beside the Innova Primary School, but a stronger landmark will be the sports school. Okay, sports school is actually where Champions Way is located at. That enormous plot of land, right, is actually sold for 904 PSF per plot ratio. Okay, so what does that mean? A lot of people don't understand. If let's say you are not in projects, you don't understand that 904 is actually a very high number for Champions Way. It's a very high number for Woodlands. We are anticipating Woodlands to then be selling at close to 2,000 per square foot. So if Woodlands is going to sell 2,000 per square foot, I now tell you Lentor, you just top up $100 per square foot. Isn't that very, very affordable? Right? Isn't that something that you might actually want to buy? In fact, if I think you as an agent, you should own self go and buy. Right? You should go and buy. I think sure got agent first dips. Right. So with 904 PSF in Woodlands, Lentor is so much closer, easily 4 MRT stops closer, even if we take from the Woodlands MRT down to Thomson-East Coast Line. So, Lentor then makes a lot better choice, right? So 904 PSF per plot ratio, this is something you need to take note to tell to your buyers. Wow, I thought I never briefed. so let me brief. All right, so the next thing we can take note of is Jayden. Jayden is launching as well. It's going to be launching towards this quarter of 2023 as well. So something for all of us to look forward to. ERA teammates, take note. These are the few last launches that's coming up. So we must take note of what kind of projects we want to put out there. All right, so take a look at my highlighted box on the bottom left there. It's a bit hard to see, but this box basically says that observers are estimating between 2,000 to 2,100 PSF. Right. So if observers are estimating towards that, do you think that developers will sell at that price? That's what we don't think so. We think that based on our understanding of the current market, there is a chance that Jayden might be pushing for 2,325. Okay, 2,325. That's in Jurong. Then I want to share with you a little bit about the kind of market that we have in Jurong. Okay, so in Jurong, recently from Business Times, very, very recent article, they also mentioned that units have been transacting there for about 1,007, close to 1,008. From January to February of this year. So at the kind of price range, then again, I want to try to bring your attention back to Lentor. Can we take a look at Lentor, and is buying a new Lentor project at about 1,009 to 2,001 if you buy for bigger units? Does that make sense to you? Is the spread reasonable? All right, so that's what we are trying to share with you as well. Take note that buying in Lentor definitely has a lot of upsides. Of course, you can buy in J-Cube or Jayden for its own level of potential. But take note why Lentor makes a lot of value. That there's a lot of value in buying a very central project that is only about 10-15% higher than Jayden. Okay. Let's see. Okay, come. Let's take a look at Lentor plots. Okay, so land plots. I think just now David also covered a little bit. Okay, David also covered a little bit. We do have 11 plots of land. This small diagram shows you what are the next plots of land in the vicinity. What has already been launched, Lentor Modern, Lentor Hills, as well as Hillock Green. Right, so Hillock Green being launched now. One more upcoming project launch. Anybody is familiar? You all know Parcel B, what is it going to be? Come, you can help me type in the chat. We make it a bit more interactive today. Yeah, so what's in the next project after Hillock Green? All right, Lentoria. All right, Jocelyn. Yeah, so Lentoria is one of them. Okay, the other projects, has they been sold? Plot 5, Lentor Gardens, those plots also have been sold already. So I'm going to run with you more detail so that you understand how do you gauge Lentor better? Okay, come. So looking at these slides, it's a bit content heavy, okay, for the next couple of slides, but I just want you to bear with me a little bit, okay? We take out the number, Hillock Green on the right side. Hillock Green land price, we looked at it at 1,108 PSF per PPR, correct? Whereas last time Lentor Modern launched last year in quarter 2, they was going for 1205 PSF PPR, but that being an integrated project, we should expect the kind of price range. Lentor Hills itself actually launched at 1060. So immediately, don't need to talk already. We stop there. You're going to ask me, wow, but Lentor Hills cheaper. Should I go and buy Lentor Hills? All right. For all of us at ERA, we just want you to close. So if you can close, go and close. Okay, go and close Lentor Hills. Go and close Lentor Modern. But I need you to understand, Lentor Hills, Lentor Modern units are going to be not so choice units anymore. So now you are coming back into a new project that is going to give you a lot more choice units. And I'm going to share with you how this project could potentially look like for you to sell as well. All right. So if we look at Lentor Gardens and Lentora, the PSF PPR is relatively low as well. 985, but Lentora is 1130. And then our Lentor Central, we're looking at 982. That's pretty significant, right? We are looking at numbers that is almost 10 or 15% cheaper than ours here at Hillock Green. So what am I telling you is I'm helping you to understand that this is going to be your objections, right? People are going to tell you, hey, this one cheaper. Like, why don't I buy there? Why don't I wait? Might as well wait. Got so many plot of land. I wait until next time. Later, I'm going to show you how waiting has its losses, penalties, correct. So if you wait, you might have penalty, but I want to share with you why and how do you bring this across to your clients better. Okay? So, next slide. Just a quick summary, average estimated PSF. On the assumption that most construction costs sets a developer back about $921 per square foot. This will include marketing costs, we include construction, include legal fees. All right, all this add in together. Just simply taking 921 PSF, we will see that Hillock Green sits just in the middle between Lentor Hills residences as well as Lentor Modern. So again, are we then considered overpriced? Not really, but we are closer to the MRT station. So that's also going to be one small benefit for you. Okay, so I'm going to move on to this. Harmonization. Okay, so harmonization is actually a very tricky topic because a lot of people don't understand what that is, right? Harmonization is something that really affects all developers as well as buyers moving forward. So I need you to actually know very briefly what harmonization is and how is that going to affect your buyers in the future. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I want to touch and go on this a little bit. Basically, if you want to know what harmonization is, I just need to remember three things. Okay, it is actually that the developers, okay, will have to pay a little bit more for developing what they usually need to, what they last time don't need to pay on. Yeah, so last time Aircon Ledge, the developer will charge you for it, but they don't pay to the government for it. Now they will need to do that. So if they're going to do that, what do you think that happens? What do you think happens to that? Is the cost going to be absorbed by the developer, or is it going to be passed down to us as the consumer? Right. So it's highly likely, or in fact, we all know that it's going to be passed down to us as a consumer. Instead of selling you a larger unit, now they'll sell you a slightly smaller unit, but with the cost included. So this is going to actually increase the future sale prices of projects that are after 1st June 2023. Okay, so you see bottom left of my photo, 1st June 2023, that's the effective date. We are very lucky Hillock Green is not affected by this. Okay, Hillock Green won't be affected by harmonization, which means that we can still sell to you at a price that the developer can accept and within their profit margin. Okay, so if you wait for the future projects, yes, we've got 5 other projects coming up. After the next 5 projects come up, they are going to cost you more to buy, but they're going to give you less in terms of space and size. Right. This means that the last few, the upcoming remaining projects like Hillock Green, you should enter. If not, next time it's just going to be more expensive. All right. So today, before we did this, I also received news. Okay, I didn't put this in, but I also received news that stamp prices have went up. Okay, so stamp prices are, for those who do mailers or this kind of marketing, stamp prices used to cost 31 cents. Suddenly today, they're going to cost 51 cents. All right, that's a very, very strong increase, So if it's going to increase by so much, think of harmonization as the same thing. All right, you're still buying the same thing, right? You're still buying stamp, right? Last time can stick, maybe now use saliva, cheaper.
The same postman.
Yeah, still same postman, but they told you cost went up. They told you that not a lot of people are so-called spending on stamps. That's why they want to increase the stamp. Then one shot increase some more lipu. Yeah, so if they're going to do something like this, as simple as stamps, can you see why harmonization is going to affect us as well? Okay, so we use that as a selling point for us. Hillock Green, no harmonization. Tell your buyers, if you don't buy now, you want to wait, sure, you can wait. But next time you're buying smaller for more expensive. All right, so we don't want to go to the kind of direction. So can I bring you to take a look at this? Okay. Just bear with me a little bit more. These are a bit more content heavy related things, but look at the price differentiation from what we have when it comes to buying Lentor. Okay. So all this data, I took it from EdgeProp. I mean, y'all can feel free to do your own analysis, but this is what the leadership team feels makes a lot of sense. Lentor Modern, back then, they told us the estimated break-even was 1933 PSF. Currently, we're 94% sold, 31 units remaining. And the PSF range, we're looking at the cheapest PSF unit in the market is 1980 PSF. Most expensive is 2577, that being the one bedroom remaining at Lentor Modern. Okay, so if I just do a very simple average, the average now is 2278. Looking at Lentor Hills, following the same thought process, I'll just summarize. The PSF range is between 1904 to 2411, having an average of 2158 PSF. So to buy an integrated and to buy Lentor Hills, you have a difference of 4% in PSF average. All right. This means, of course, Lentor Modern can be very attractive. Okay. So again, your buyers, want to buy good PSF, want to quickly go and buy. If they want to buy something that's more quantum friendly, go and buy Lentor Hills. All right. But if they want to buy a good mix of both, take a look at Hillock Green, right? So Hillock Green, I show you my estimated break even is 1963. Okay. So it's very similar, in fact, slightly higher than Lentor Modern and higher than Lentor Hills, right? So people will say, wow, estimated break even so高. So I show you what the developer profit margin is based on our quick analysis from EdgeProp, right? So quick analysis would be Lentor Modern's estimated profit margin. We're looking at 17.8%. This is after a few rounds of price increment as well as market growth since Q3 of last year, right? 2022. Whereas Lentor Hills, we're looking at average sale price. You're counting 18.5% profit margin. So if you're looking at 18.5% profit margin for Lentor Hills and 17.8% average profit margin for Lentor Modern, right? Then this must come into account. Okay, already raised price, already sold a chunk of units. Developers also don't want to sell out so fast. They want to have a longer runway so they can increase price. All right. Then when we take a look at Hillock Green, all right, Hillock Green, right? Let me show you. On the assumption that Hillock Green's developers are only going to price between 10 to 12%, which is still a very healthy profit margin, we can anticipate that their estimated break-even will be between 2001 to 2002. But take note, this is a range. We will still have one-bedroom units that are selling to 2.4, something like that, just like what Lentor Modern is selling at. And then we still have four-bedroom units that are selling at 19 PSF. So this range is for you to tell your clients, own self set some expectations with your clients that if they're buying bigger unit, we can still potentially expect a PSF that's slightly lower. All right, but this should be the kind of benchmark that you're already paying for. So, Hishi, you're asking why is it estimated break even high? Sorry, can't really see the question. Give me a second. Why estimated break even is higher than Lentor Modern given the GLS PSF is lower? Of course, Lentor Modern, you must understand that we are integrated, right? Integrated, you have more to pay for. Legal fees are higher, right? You have the commercial portion, residential portion, so it'll definitely be higher. Yeah. Okay, Ken, sorry, but yeah, this is not the we'll talk about it next time. Yeah. Can I? Sorry. So let's see. Okay. So let's have a very quick analysis in terms of our competition. Okay. This is a big table. Let me go and right size it for you a little bit. So look at this table. If let's say we put in estimated PSF between 2001 and 2005. Okay. Very, very normal anticipated price. Of course, 1 to 2 bedrooms. If you can get 1,900 PSF, I also buy. All right. So if we are unlikely to get the number, we share with some more realistic figures first. Realistic figures, you look at quantum. Right, look at our quantum, then you compare it with Lentor Hills and Lentor Modern. Right, Lentor Modern, let's take a big unit. We take a 3-bedroom unit that's remaining is looking at 2239 PSF at 2.1 million. Right, but we take a biggest unit, 2045 PSF, but you're looking at 3.12 million. So if we are looking at 2045, you take a look at my estimated PSF, the table, 2,100 for Hillock Green. Okay, I give you 2,100. You buy the biggest unit at Hillock Green, you're still buying only 2.75. Right. So I think this is considered good value. You should be able to tell your buyers, hey, honestly speaking, you want to buy integrated development, yes, you can buy Lentor Modern. But if you want to stay near one, from Hillock Green, you look across the street also Lentor Modern, right? Crossover 2 minutes only, very fast. But you save the best part of 400 over 1,000. Right. So then this is also considered value for you. So take a look at this comparison. This is what we have on the market right now and then what's available moving forward. But even our Lentor Hills 1346 square feet you get 2.5 million. Again, is that very attractive? I think it's very attractive. So can Lentor be bought? You can, right? Because now can you still find 4-bedroom new launch for 2.5 million? I think it's very hard. Right. So generally, we want to help you guys push all of Lentor, but of course, Hillock Green being new, you get more choice units. So you can also go and target. Yeah, so from what we understand, we read some of the data and documents. It is highly likely that Hillock Green will be sheltered to the MRT station. But then again, 2 minutes only. Really, it's not even 100 meters. Yeah, very, very close by only. Okay, Ken? So take note of some of this data. I won't run through too much, but I think this actually helps us to get a better understanding of how much PSF we're going to expect moving forward. All right. So are the prices justified? You know, people always tell us, expensive, eh? Right? Is it really very expensive? But you must understand that this cost is not because the developer want to squeeze us. It's that we are also squeezing the developer back. Right? Land cost is already high. We see Champion Way also can sell so high in land cost. Generally, construction cost is higher. How do I pitch to my clients when they ask me, how come so expensive now? Okay, we put it in a very simple way. If our construction worker is being paid $20 before COVID, now they are being paid $40 due to worker crunch. Right? Now COVID is over. Are they going to go back to $20? Right? It's hard, ma. Right? It's definitely hard, ma. So they go $20. Then 我不要跟你做. I don't work for you. Right? I'll move to another company. I'll work for the guy. He will pay me $41. Okay, right. So see, this is exactly what's happening to why construction cost is going up. So we must use this to tell our clients, hey, this cost is not really being put onto you. It's being put on the developer. But of course, you say it nicely, lah. Right. Financing cost also is high. Interest is high for us as consumers, but also high for developers. But for you, you loan 1 million, expensive. Developer loan 700 million, same interest rate. Yeah. So whose interest more expensive? Yeah, their interest will be higher, right? So what we can look at is, generally speaking, we have the understanding that if construction cost generally goes up, and then next time we add in harmonization, our future plot's going to be significantly more expensive. This can be a pitch for you to explain to your client that yes, it will be. So why not you take into consideration Hillock Green and bring them to us as your project DDs or project ICs. We push for you to close. Okay, we make sure you close at Hillock Green. Can? So just putting this in, our construction costs and material costs generally also went up. So developers also have to take all of this into consideration. And so demographics is very important. Okay, this will help you in two things. One, who you should target when you're trying to what do you call it? When you're trying to prospect, do marketing. All right. So who should you target, as well as what kind of people buy? Okay. So Lentor enclave again. We are going to talk about 3,000 over units. Anybody think this is saturated? Can you one? You put one. One is saturated. Two not saturated. What do y'all think? Anybody think that 3,000 over units in Lentor enclave is considered saturated? Can y'all, if y'all help me interact a bit, y'all think saturated, put 1. Not saturated, put 2. Okay, come. Okay, so you see a lot of people, I see more 1s than 2s. You know, people are starting to think that it's really very, very saturated. Okay, yeah, so a handful of 2s as well. Okay, so this is good because you see, if we can't change our own mind, how do we change our buyer's mind? All right. So we will need to tell ourselves that it's not saturated, and let me show you how. Okay, let me show you how. I'll show you through one, demographics, second, through a case study. Okay, so for our non-believers, feel that it's saturated on, let me show you how. For our thing that's not saturated on, let me work on your point. Okay, let me help you do it better. All right, so market demand. Generally, we all understand that OCR and RCR has always had the most market demand. All right, so why? Because it's all about affordability. It's all about quantum entry. Okay, PSF 2005, but if it costs $1 million, I maybe consider buying. All right, $1 million, 1 bedroom, but 2,500 PSF, I actually will buy. Why? Because I can only afford that much. Correct. So market demand is important. We need to understand OCR and RCR are always going to be attractive. All right, transacted PSF in the OCR region, we start seeing that for a new sale, which is in red, okay, where my box is at, we have more 2,000 to 2,200 PSF range transactions. Okay, so that means that that's for the first half of 2023 at least. That means that people are slowly coming to accept that price range. So we will also need to accept it as agents. Transacted PSF in OCR, okay, we are looking at Quantum now. Quantum, new launch, the red one, okay, between 1 million to 2 million. This is considered sweet spot. All right, so sweet spot means what? 1, 2, and maybe a small 3-bedder. This is sweet spot. All right, so I want you to tell your clients, hey, if you want to buy a project that have high potential of making money, buy a sweet spot project. Hillock Green, we have basically up to 60% is 1 and 2 bedders. All right, so go for Hillock Green. All right, So transactor size in OCR, again, looking at square footage, right? 501 square feet all the way up to the best part of 1,100 square feet. Most of the majority are in there. Why is OCR always transacting at this square footage range? Is because of the demographics of buyers. Generally tend to be young. Bigger units tend to be young families. So I won't bore you with these figures, but basically Lentor Modern PSF did go up, right? In general, looking at 1980 all the way to 20577. It's like 2577. So take a look at the kind of demographics that we're looking at here. Okay, this is done by our ERA research team, a very hardworking team. So look at our buyers address type. First and foremost, Lentor Modern quantum a bit higher, but more buyers come from private address. Okay, less buyers come from HDB address. Most of the buyers themselves are Singaporean citizens, with basically 10% being PR come foreigners. Buyers age, that's very important as well. Big chunk, 31 to 40, mostly young families. 21 to 30, which is 29%, which is quite a big number. Most of the people, at least from my experience, is their parents give them some seeding fund to purchase house. Right, 41 to 50, a lot of them tend to be those that are upgrading for bigger unit types as well. Right. So if you take a look at Lentor Modern, can you all take note of this? Okay, take note of this. Lentor Modern buyers come from where? Okay, they primarily come from District 19 and 20. Okay, 19 and 20, why? Very normal. 20 nearby. 19, always got buyers coming from there. All right. District 26, which is the Seletar side, and District 27 as well. They do have a lot of buyers. What this basically show you is that buyers buy inland. They move inland, they move to more central location. When you're young, a lot of our parents, they stay more central. Then after that, eventually they move to Punggol, Serangoon, Hougang, Yishun. Right? Then they will never tell you, wow, I wish I can move further. They will never tell you that. They'll tell you, I want to move back to where I came from. And for me, my parents, we grew up in Hougang. Now we moved to Yishun. Now I want to move back to Hougang. I want to move inland. All right. So understand our demographics. Our people want to move inland. So if they're going to move inland, you must know where to find them. Right? You notice a lot of the transactions, the buyers really come from outskirts and then they come inland. All right. If I take a look at Lentor Hills, okay, I won't run through the numbers so much, but the PSF tends to be very similar to Lentor Modern. But this is the biggest change. Look at our buyer address type on the right side. Buyer's address type have changed from nearly a 70-30 to a 53-47. HDB buyers more. What does that mean? That usually means entry. Okay, entry price for buyers, upgrading for buyers. A lot of them come from HDB. Because why? The quantum of entry for Lentor Hills is lower. So that means that even for us at Hillock Green, our quantum of entry is lower. You should anticipate buyers to come from HDB as well as private enclaves. But generally speaking, again, mostly Singaporeans. Right? But take a look at our age group now. Age group 31 to 40, a lot more than our younger population. Why? Because 31 to 40, a lot of them is upgraders, coincides with our HDB data. Right? So this means we should go door knocking soon, everybody. Right? I think got 150 of you here. Let's go and door knock together. We write one whole Punggol, come back. I promise you, should close something on. All right. So let's go and do that. All right. Next thing, Lentor Hills, take a look at the difference in terms of buyer profiles. This time we are dropping it down to 23%. To District 19 and 20. Who's one of our contenders that lose out is District 26. But District 27, a significantly sharp increase of buyers. Okay? So, if you all notice, one number that don't come out here is District 9. District 9, nobody buy Lentor. Alright, but does that mean that they won't buy? No. Door knock. Okay, so let's go and do that. Okay, but notice our demographics. See, our demographics really primarily come from District 19, 20. Of course, if we see a lot of HDB upgraders, they likely came from there. District 27 is Yishun, right? Yishun's... Sorry.
We'll be having our flyers ready by next week. So when we come door knocking and roadshow, you can use this and you know where to target. District 19, 20, and 27.
Yeah. So if, let's say we are now targeting these areas, then you come down with us, we help you to get more clients from there as well. Okay, but understand the demographics. I think that's very important. So if you're serving resale buyers or sellers there, tell them about Lentor Hills, tell them about Hillock Green, tell them about Lentor Modern. All right. So now I move into the elephant in the room. Okay. 10 more minutes. All right. 10 more minutes to remove the elephant in the room. What is objection handling in a Hillock Green? Okay. So the most number one question that I already mentioned just now when I asked you all, do you think it's saturated or not? And that's whether that's how we're going to have to handle the main biggest objection that is in the area now. So going back at this, looking at 3,000 over units, right? That means we have a very, very high saturation of units. Okay, that's what a lot of us think. So I wanted to ask us now, but I I want to ask now, but already asked already. So yeah, based on our understanding, a lot of them has already thought that it's saturated. Okay, so saturation comes in two forms, right? This is one in comfort. That means, wow, the way you feel very tight, will you feel very uncomfortable, will it be very hot, no wind blow, etc. Then the next one is, of course, profitability and exit. All right, so I'll address the first one, which is comfort. Okay, so I want you to know this is how you can talk to your clients to help you close the deal in regards to oversaturation. So this is actually a document that came from Hillock Green, okay, and URA. They have this thing called the wind corridor, right? Hillock being a very greenery-oriented area, we have wind corridors. So I'm going to blow it up a little bit, okay? You see this small circle that's over there. That small circle actually itself is going to be Hillock Green. All right, so we are likely looking at 2 tower blocks. Yeah, but okay, don't take my word for it. During preview, we'll take a look again. All right, but likely look at 2 tower blocks. And then you notice that this red pathway in between, it actually allows for wind to flow through. Best part, it flows through Hillock Green. All right, it flows through our project. Then it will attack into Lentor Modern. All right, so it flows through our project. Can you anticipate that our project, one side facing Hillock Park, the other side facing towards Lentor Modern, but with a bit of space in between, will still have wind blowing you? All right, can you anticipate that? All right, so is this actually bad for you in terms of so-called oversaturation? I don't think so. In fact, it does help a lot of comfort. And because one side you're facing over to the Hillock Park side, it will definitely help you in your, telling your client, hey, this one can buy one. All right, it won't be hot, won't be saturated. All right, there's a lot of things that I read inside. Also, they restrict what kind of walls that the developer can use, external walls, so that wind can flow through. So very interesting. And you think developers won't follow government advisory? Sure, follow. All right, so that's going to be your comfort-oriented portion. All right, so next one, case study. Okay, so we already solve our comfort. Can we go and solve oversaturated? Okay, so this is a very strong case study that the leadership team, as well as our DDs and ICs, really all came out to go and take a look and go and identify how does a so-called oversaturated area perform. Okay, so I'm only going to use this example for today. All right, we will have more trainings to help you all, I think, tackle these kind of questions in our sales force. All right, but using this example itself, this is at where Cocoa Palms is at, Peirce MRT, basically. The red star there is Peirce MRT station. Okay, but we have effectively Cocoa Palms, The Nest, The Pallet, Forsea, NV Residences, Livia Residences, Risk Grandeur, and Elias Green. Total, just for the units that was completed after 2010, okay, between 2011 and 2018, we already have 4,479 units. If I add in Risk Grandeur and Elias Green, I have 5,351 units. Do you feel that this is the same as Lentor? If you don't feel it, let me explain to you why we feel it. Okay, so a freehold project in Lentor that is relatively popular and always come in as an objection is going to be Peirce. Right, Peirce is one project that always come in and say like, hey, but Peirce freehold, right? Isn't Risk Grandeur also freehold? Right, it's also freehold, right? Then Elias Green. Elias Green is our competitor. We put it as an apple to apple. Elias Green is something like Castle Green. Okay, so these are our 2 projects that give us very similar demographics and type as Lentor. And then our Cocoa Palms down all the way to Livia, right? These are our newer projects that's being launched in the Lentor area at the same time. Just that the biggest difference between this case study and our case study at Lentor is that we are nowhere as near to the MRT station compared to Lentor. Right? These Lentor projects, all 3 is within minutes one, 2-3 minutes walk one. But if you come to Cocoa Palms, you'll know that you need to cross the big road, then walk through a long pass, you'll pass by Peirce 8 site, then you will reach the MRT station.
No shelter.
Right, and there's no shelter, yeah. Right, but we all have shelter. So one oversaturated, use this example. I give you more examples. I show you why. Okay, take a look at the growth in a saturated estate, so-called saturated. Right, between NV Residences down to Forsea, we still have an average growth of 29.6%. Just now I told you the Lentor enclave, you're looking at 3,000 over units. Here got nearly 5,000 units, but they still have an average growth of 29.6%, and they were all launched and completed in a very similar time frame as well. Right. So if us today in 2023 as agents feel like, wow, saturated 不可以卖, saturated cannot sell, right? How do you think our agents, our experienced agents in early 2010s felt? And back then also, every single time they were like, wow, that's a record price. This is record price, right? But 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they will go through the same problem as us. But this is proven data that the growth still exists, right? So we can use this to tell your clients, hey, no such thing as saturated. When we're buying house, it's going to be holding value, right? So buying Pasir Ris, and now I throw you back 20 years, if I can give you to buy Lentor, will you buy Lentor? Right? I rather buy Lentor, it's closer to town, Upper Thomson is nearby, feel a bit more atas. Right, sorry, don't stay at Pasir Ris, don't blame me. I also like Pasir Ris. Okay, Ken. So, but in general, you see, now we understand that kind of thought process. I want you guys to know that it's basically not saturated. It's that you guys haven't went through what our experienced agents went through before. Okay, and back then they'll tell you that okay, still can sell one. It just takes a bit longer, right? But I need you to push to tell your buyers that Hillock can be bought. All right. So, number one question that people tell me, talking about exit strategy, if I buy Hillock, or if I buy Lentor in general, how do I exit? So saturated, I will have no chance of making money. Let me show you the unprofitable transactions in our cluster at Pasir Ris. Okay, our Pasir Ris cluster. So, sale transactions for DNS, okay? Basically, I'm only going to put in the unprofitable transactions, okay? 6. Wow, a lot. 6 Right. Then after that, we have Cocoa Pumps, 0. Then we have NV Residences, 37. Pallet, we have 7. Belsea, we have 0. Livia, we have 43. Risk Grandeur, we have 11. And then we have Elias Green at 56. Notice that our 2 highest numbers come from our older project, as well as our older project that is freehold, our older project that is like a Casa Green equivalent, right? That's our 43 and 56. Okay, so this is then going to be your number one cut. You tell your client, hey, you can buy one. Lentor, Hillock, generally you can buy. But they say, I want to buy Carol's instead. Then this is our transaction figure. It's more negative, right? So based on our 5,351 units in this area, okay, in this Pasir Ris area, okay, Pasir Ris, take notes, Pasir Ris, right? How many units is considered unprofitable? A whopping 160 units, right? Okay, that's sarcasm, please. Right, so 160 units, unprofitable, over 10 to 15 years, right? For Pasir Ris, I feel that that means that actually Lentor, Hillock Green, this area, we don't have much of an issue. If I'm going to put it to you in percentage, 2.9%. Right, 2.9% unprofitable transactions out of 5,000 over units. Lentor only got 3,000 units for you only. Right, if 2.9% or I give you higher 5%, you also won't cross 160 units. Okay, Ken? So that to give you a bit of a clearer understanding, NV Livia. Okay, let me go back. See, which one was more unprofitable is NV, Livia, Risk Grandeur, Elias Green. Okay, I'll put Pallet and DNS out. All right. So you see my box, NV, Livia, Risk Grandeur, Elias Green, they are the furthest away from the MRT station. Okay, furthest away. Whereas Cocoa Palms, DNS, the Pallet, they are much closer to the MRT station. Right. Belsea, special case. Could be a launch price. Right. But take a look at our numbers, right? Then you understand that, wow, so those that are closer to the MRT station tend to do better. Okay. And you still have this saturated argument. But we already can showcase to you with one example that this saturated argument is not very strong, especially because we are buying somewhere a bit central. Okay. So, yeah. So now we talk about our north-south corridor and Thomson-East Coast Line. I think you all have heard this many times, especially if we are buying and selling within this area. Okay, Hillock Green is 3 minutes away from the entry ramp of the north-south corridor tunnel. This is called infrastructure. Generally, having infrastructure in any project vicinity will help you increase in value. Right. So okay, I move on. Before I answer Wani's question, I move on first. Later we Q&A a bit. Okay, so next thing is going to be our Thomson-East Coast Line. That's now David has shared about that already. So yes, having more MRT stations does help us with this so-called MRT effect. One thing that we can also top up on David's point is that, you see, Lentor is at TE5. TE1 is our Woodlands North, right? So TE1 has what? TE1 in the future is going to be our link to our brother from the north, okay? Our Woodlands. No Woodlands. JB, our Johor Bahru. Okay, so if from that point, TE5 to TE1, we're going to go to JB, right? Does that increase the value of your property in terms of one, potential rentability, second, a new township, right? And the last but not least is that people will shuffle through the entire Thomson-East Coast Line more often. Just simply from last year's data, 2nd April 2023, from October 2022 to February 2023, we've seen nearly a 3 times increase in ridership. And this is just a very, very teething phase of Thomson-East Coast Line. Moving forward, we are expected to see 500,000 commuters. Okay, 500,000 commuters are 1% of that will give you 5,000 or around 5,000, which is more number of units than Lentor has to offer, right? So yeah, the entire Lentor, entire Lentor don't have so many units for 1% of 500,000 commuters. So actually, do you have eyeballs? Do you have buyers? Yes, but you need to believe it yourself as an agent. All right. So that's a quick summary. Okay, recent launches and regulations are actually helping you to sell better. Don't take it as a negative, take it as a positive. Harmonization is good for us to sell now. All right. Developers haven't opened their strike yet. They are going to start selling higher, such as Champions Way, expecting to sell at 2,000 PSF or higher. All right. Buying a new township actually usually helps you to repeat history. I like to sell Lentor as a future Punggol, just that closer to town. Right. That's why I like to sell Lentor as, and that's always been a very strong pitch of mine. All right. Saturation is always in your mind, I feel. There's not all of us who say, one, I think it's saturated. I show you some data that is not. I cannot have you to go off this Zoom and say it's still saturated. Cannot. You must work on your mind and say, it's not saturated. I want to sell Lentor project. Let the leadership team help you with that. All right. Join our sales force. We help you with that. Okay. So government infrastructure will also help you sell better. Okay. Look at our Thomson-East Coast Line. It has helped a lot of properties within this vicinity gain in terms of profit. And the last one is I want to implore you to come and join our sales force.